Hello and welcome. On this week's episode, we discuss new trailers for the movie The Last Duel by Ridley Scott and King Richard by Ronaldo Marcus. We also discuss new trailers from Syfy for the television series Chucky. It's the most recent property actually produced by the creator of Child's Play, Don Mancini, and it posits to be a bit better than the movie. We will also discuss the new Masters of the Universe cartoon series on Netflix. Arthur's seen the first episode. I've seen all of them because I'm definitely the bigger Motu fan. And lastly, we are going to discuss M. Night Shyamalan's latest offering, Old. It's Shyamalani, but I like it.
Shamalama ding dong.
So join us on
Tales to Admonish begin.
the Tales to Admonish monster or whatever it is that is the sound effect that says that title was feeling saucy today.
Saucy indeed, man.
We don't let him out of his cage nearly enough, I guess.
Oh, once he goes out, it's Wango Tango time.
So how the hell are you, sir?
Hey, man. Oh, man, I'm feeling great. I feel like I talk about the same thing every time. Oh, more voiceover. But that's what's happening. I just worked on this new video game, so that was really great. Worked at the Mark Grouse Studios, so I'm just loving it. Work on Elder Scrolls next month, so I'm really excited about that. So, other than that, just plodding along with all of like our, all of the kind of like creative projects that we've been working on. And getting ready for pumpkin time. Don't you have something to say about that?
Well, I was wondering if you got anything cool in the mail.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Basically, a beautiful gift by one Thomas Olton.
Oh, thank you. I'm fishing for that compliment. Keep it coming. Got you on the hook. I'm reeling you in.
Well, you could reel this in. You could reel in that sweet humble juice. Because I was right. You were wrong.
You were right, and in honor of you being right, I sent you a framed copy of Captain Marvel #1 with a proud black woman right on the cover.
That's right.
Which I should have known because I had it in my long box.
That's
and it
right.
Definitely predates Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. So
that's right.
Canonically, Captain Marvel is black, and so in honor of your being right and it being your birthday, I sent you that comic framed up nice, and to go along with it, a nice framed copy of Power Man, Luke Cage, annual #1 from 1976.
Got a twofer. Oh my God!
So those are good
can we
fun.
Just get a applause sound effect right now from my man Tom? Yes. Everyone applaud this man. This lovely, beautiful.
Well, it was my pleasure, and I couldn't let your birthday go unanswered. But
thanks,
yeah,
man.
I've been good. Things are cool over here. Running around this morning, just picked up my car from the shop and trying to get a bunch of stuff. Pumpkins are coming. We have secured a studio space, so it is getting much, much closer to being real. And so we are looking to just get the band back together. I've been talking to some artists and talking to some people and trying to make this thing work. It's a miracle. It's a miracle every single year that we get to travel somewhere and put on a show and thousands of people come, and it's amazing. And I don't believe it's going to happen until you're actually sitting in the room making this stuff. Every year you're like, oh, I'm getting a phone call in August and it's off and it's over and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Not this year, it seems. So it's looking good. I'm super stoked to do it. And, it's a tough undertaking, but I'm excited. We're reeling and rolling now.
Heck yeah, man. Oh my God, I wish I could be there with you.
I wish you could be here with me too. It's going to be super exciting. But you're here with me in spirit, and we get to talk all the time and do this podcast, which I love. But speaking of which, there's going to be no episode next week. So
no.
I know Arthur. No, you and I'll still talk, but the problem is I'm actually going to be going in for surgery. And so I'm specifically having surgery done on my ear. So it's going to make it very difficult for me to do things like wear headphones and mix and listen to things.
Mm-hmm.
But God willing, when I get back from surgery, everything's going to sound much better because I'll actually be able to hear better. And they are also specifically taking a tumor out of my fucking head, which is kind of terrifying, right? Oof. Man, say those words out loud. But it's not
a tumor.
Cancerous. It's not a tumor.
It is a tumor.
No, it is a tumor. Fuck, it's a tumor. But, it's funny you say that because this problem developed and I attributed it to something else, another thing that I was having done. I said, oh, it's a swollen lymph node. It's not a big deal. It'll go down. And then it didn't go down. And you're like, well, it's probably just a lipoma. It's a fatty deposit. It'll go away. And then it doesn't. And so you get to the point of where like, holy shit, I should maybe go to the doctor. And I am terrible about going to a doctor because I'm always like, it's not a tumor. What the fuck? What are the chances that it's a tumor? And so you put it off. And then you go to the hospital and they're like, well, good to see you. We would have liked to have seen you earlier, but thanks for stopping by. You have a fucking tumor in your head. And so for anybody who might be listening, who might be dealing with some kind of medical difficulty that they don't think is a big deal or just kicking the can down the road, random chest pains, but I'm fine. Oh, that's a weird lump somewhere, but probably not a big deal. Oh, Mike, this hurts, that hurts. It'll be fine. Just stop. Go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Go to the doctor.
And especially these
Arthur,
days.
get your second shot. Get your second COVID shot.
I got it, man. I got it.
Oh, you got the second?
I got it, buddy.
Oh, shit. So you're 100% vaxxed up now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you went to the doctor and you were
That's
putting
right.
it off. And I kept telling you, I was like, don't put it off, man. Bad shit can happen when you put shit off. And I put my shit off and I thought, it's fine. And then I went to a doctor and he's like, look, it's manageable. You're going to be fine. There's no chance that this is going to go the worst way where this is manageable, but you should have been here sooner, man. So for anybody who might be on the fence about it, if you cannot afford health insurance, go to healthcare.gov and put in your income and they will help you find something affordable. I've been on every point in the income spectrum. I've had years where I've done great projects and been fortunate to have tons of people calling me and made tons of money. And then I pay a lot for health insurance. And I've had years where I've made no fucking money and then I pay very little for health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And so most states will help you get your health insurance together. You can reach out to them and they will help you. So I would encourage everyone to do that. Go to your local USA.gov, healthcare.gov. There are numerous organizations you can find on the internet, charities. I hate to direct people to charities because this is healthcare and you pay taxes and the state should be helping you out. And they will. But you got to go to your respective state's healthcare website and, sign up, give them your personal information and get some health insurance and go see the doctor because you never know.
Yes.
And I didn't know and I thought I was fine. And I'm a living example. Go.
Yes.
Go.
Be mindful. Be vigilant. Be healthy. We love you.
So now we got all of that heavy shit out of the way. I'm fine. It's funny. Every person I told about this, you always have to start out with like, so I got some news. I'm totally fine. Don't worry. But you see this weird lump behind my ear? Somebody's going to cut it out of my head. So, so it's been something. I don't know. So, but we're all looking forward to when I get better and I'll get back and we'll be talking about lots of silly stuff. There's going to be tons more to talk about because Arthur and I, we drag the deepest recesses of the internet to bring you fun and entertaining geek news. And
that's right.
We hope it's at least one, if not both. And one thing we love to do is talk about trailers. And Arthur, this morning, you turned me on to 2 trailers that I had not seen and didn't even know these projects were in development. What do we got?
We got The Last Duel. And what's great about this project is, at first I just kind of settled it aside because it just looked like another generic sword and knight battling thing. And they tend to star Matt Damon for some reason. But this one, I was listening to Mark Maron on the WTF podcast, and he happened to be interviewing Matt Damon. And he went more into the detail of the thing. So Ridley Scott's working on this. And it's also like after all these years, it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck working together besides the Project Greenlight thing that they did.
Right.
But them working together like on an honest to goodness film. And it's really interesting. It's basically Matt Damon and his wife and his wife has a problem with another knight and calls him out for it. The other knight being played by Adam Driver, he doesn't admit to it at all, so it leads to a duel. So that's the setup for the movie. And it's a pretty cool trailer, so I just thought that was cool that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck they just seem like, wow, it's really been that long? But I mean, that's the crazy thing about Hollywood. You start putting things in your schedule, and you just really don't see your people for a while, you know? So that's cool.
I thought the last Duel trailer was cool. One of the things I really appreciated about the last Duel is that it leaves the villain, Adam Driver, somewhat ambiguous. You know, it would have been real easy to show us this trailer where you're like, Matt Damon is the king and this is his queen, and she was assaulted by one of his knights and now he's going to defend her honor. And it would have been very straightforward, cut and dry, and, you know, good wins, evil is punished, and, oh, this rogue knight. But the trailer really makes you question if she's telling the truth or not. Adam Driver in many scenes seems to earnestly and, you know, vehemently deny the allegations against him. So you're not really sure if this is a manipulation on her part. And then they go on to explain some of the stakes in the movie for the last Duel. And so I think they did a really good job of giving you just enough to be like, I wonder if that fucker did it or not. But without giving away the whole store. And I feel like we'll talk a little bit about Old later, and I feel like sometimes the trailers give away the whole store, and I'm glad this one didn't. So I was about
that always sucks when that happens, especially when, you know, they realize that that's all that the movie has. Well, just put it all in the trailer so they could come. You know, it's always great when they put like everything in the trailer, and then you watch the movie and see that there's a whole bunch of other stuff, you know, and you just kind of react tacitly to the stuff that you've seen 18,000 times in the trailer. Loki was kind of like that. But there was so much more there. The next trailer is King Richard. You know, it makes you think of, oh, this must be some sort of Shakespearean thing. But instead, it's Will Smith's new outfit. He's playing the father of Serena and Venus Williams. And, you know, although it's schmaltzy, it looks really good to me.
It looks like Oscar bait. It looks like Oscar bait all the way. The soundtrack in the trailer is fantastic. And they put the whole thing on Front Street. Yeah,
I love the girls that they got playing Venus and Serena. You know.
Yeah, those girls look fun.
I think it should have been called My Girls or something like that. You know, something like that. Like it's like King Richard is like the Venus and Serena Williams story. King Richard. It's like, what?
Well, they do make it a point in the story to talk about how, you know, while their other siblings may not be tennis gods, they're also high achievers. And so the cost of greatness, what it takes to raise your children, be it in tennis or academia, for greatness, and how some people will look at you and call you a madman, and maybe you are, but is it worth it?
Yeah.
So that seems to be the whole crux of this movie is he pushing too hard, or is that the cost of greatness?
Yeah. I don't know. I could have did better with another trailer. It's just weird to see like the whole story and then it all resort to King Richard. You know?
And they got John Bernthal in it, and it doesn't look like he's going to get to shoot anybody.
No. Hopefully they'll have him back as the Punisher soon, because he was fantastic as the Punisher. You watched those, right?
I have not seen the Punisher.
Whoa!
I know. It came and it went. You know what happened? It came out in October. It came out. And I was
that makes
doing
sense.
Shit, and then I just never got back. To it. I meant to. I swore I was going to.
Punisher is a much watch, bro.
I know. I have intentions of picking up some of the pieces that I've missed over the years, I swear.
Did you catch all of the Marvel shows or just some of them?
So I missed out on Punisher, and I missed out on Jessica Jones season 2.
Oh, you're missing a lot there.
Those were the ones that I missed.
You saw season 3 then?
Of Jessica Jones?
Yeah.
There was a season 3?
Yeah.
I have not seen season 3 of Jessica Jones.
Season 1 is
I didn't
great.
know there was a season 3.
I love Jessica Jones, so I will sit there and watch season 2. But season 2 wasn't the best. It's not the best out of the 3, and then 3 is really good again. And Iron Fist first season is just makes you want to vomit. Second season is great.
I liked the second season. I actually did.
What?
I didn't mind the second season of Iron Fist.
No, Iron Fist the second season was great.
Yeah. It was
the first
better.
one that was complete pig vomit.
No one ever said like it really was. It was for a kung fu show. Man, they spent a lot of time in boardrooms, and I just don't need
so
it.
bad.
And the kung fu was terrible.
Oh yeah,
it was
dude.
It was just rushed, and
it was the showrunner of the last season of Dexter, and he destroyed the last season of Dexter. So. I don't know. It's just like, hey, let's not give the first season of the show a good footing. We know just who to call.
It's like the Brett Ratner of television programs.
Yeah. Every episode, every season of Daredevil was completely solid. That's probably the crown jewel of those
crown jewel
of those shows. And then I loved both seasons of Luke Cage.
Yep.
So
both of those were fantastic as well. And I can't believe that Michael Coulter hasn't been like that. They're so cold on him. There's all this talk of Charlie Cox, and I love Charlie Cox. He's great, but like, you got to admit, Michael Coulter was every bit as good as Charlie Cox in his role. I think. I thought he was Luke Cage.
I think he was okay. I don't think he was the best thing about the show. I think a lot of the villains were great in the show. I think that the world that they set up and the music and the themes were great. I feel like Mike was just okay throughout the whole thing. I don't think he was terrible. I don't think he was terrible, but for him, he's just so cool.
Yeah, but that's Luke Cage. Luke Cage is just so fucking cool.
But he has more swagger. Luke has more swagger.
Because a lot of that swagger came out of like the swinging 70s motif that was so ingrained in his character. And I think that swagger needed to be updated to the quiet cool for a modern era.
I don't know. I think somebody else could have probably did some more with it. Like I said, he's not terrible, but I don't think he's the best thing about Luke Cage.
Okay, so I would take Michael J. White.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about. Oh my God! Like just saying Michael J. White like completely changes the whole thing around. I mean, he wanted to play the part at one point. Also,
I'm sure.
Yeah, also
he's Black Dynamite. Black Dynamite is Luke Cage.
Oh yeah. Also,
Tyrese
Gibson. Yeah, Tyrese Gibson. One time, John Singleton was gonna do it with him.
I like it.
Before the Marvel, the MCU really came together.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, just going back to Punisher, both seasons fantastic. They picked the perfect person to play Punisher. Oh my God.
Well, they're bringing back a lot of people from that universe. What's his name? Vincent D'Onofrio has been confirmed for Hawkeye.
Hell,
that he's going to have at least an appearance in Hawkeye as the Kingpin.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
He was in Punisher too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they've already dipped in. The Punisher could be right around the corner, and John Bernthal is an excellent Punisher from what I've seen. And I wasn't like super into the Punisher. I think Punisher 2 is an absolute masterpiece of crazy filmmaking.
Oh, with what's his name? Who's the actor that played Punisher? War crimes or war?
Yeah, it was Punisher Warzone.
Yeah. Lexi Alexander directed that.
Yeah, Lexi Alexander directed the shit out of that.
Oh,
it's
heck
like
yeah.
a stunt gun movie. The actor's name is escaping me completely. I want to say Clive Owen, but I know it's not him.
No. He's one of the three from Thor. One of the Warriors 3.
Warriors 3?
Yeah, he's the big one, the one with the big beard.
Oh, I'm not placing it. But in any event, he's such a perfect Punisher. And like, because the Punisher is so profoundly damaged.
Yeah, and it's so cool.
Know, he's awesome.
It's so cool. He looked just like the Bradstreet cover art of Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that crap was crazy.
And that movie just stands alone as such a wonderful piece of action weirdness. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh yeah,
it's
with
so violent.
Yeah, with Jigsaw.
Oh man, yeah, Jigsaw. He's so insane. He's so insane. Everybody plays their part perfectly in that movie, and the Punisher, just the brutality of shooting people really comes through in that movie. That like so many movies gloss over, bang, 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 and people fall down. And then in Punisher Warzone, oh my God, the brutality of being shot is on full display.
Yeah, Ray Stevenson.
Ray Stevenson.
And Dominique West played Jigsaw from The Wire.
Yep. Man, we got caught down a rabbit hole there, huh?
Heck yeah, man. We're talking about Marvel.
I love it. Well, the only other trailer that we sat down and watched was the one that I recommended to you because I love the Child's Play franchise, and I'm so excited for the new Chucky series. It looks maniacal.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, it's cool that they went with like a kind of a preteen sort of young teen sort of kid. I think it's weird that he would bring in the trailer he brings the Chucky doll to school, and I was like, okay, it's an interesting choice.
Well, some of the backstory is that he is like this weird tortured emo kid, and one of his hobbies is making like weird gross dolls. He likes to make props and he likes to make disturbing dolls, and so part of his image is being counterculture and being weird and goth and strange. So dragging a doll around, I think, scans a little bit for that character. You're supposed to think like, what a weird fucking kid, and he's dragging a doll to class. Mission accomplished.
I mean, there's some definitely creepy things there. I feel like it's half and half for me. There's moments where it's creepy, then there's moments where it's like I wish they lit that better so it could be creepier. Then like sometimes like the animation looks weird when you hear the voice of Chucky coming from like, usually his face is always contorted. So if his face is looking normal with that voice coming out of it, it's just kind of weird, So
yeah, absolutely. When you get the regular voice and we're so used to Chucky having been mangled over the years that to see a nice pristine Chucky is a little bit weird.
Yeah. So we'll see like how it all shakes out. Since that's just a trailer.
My thing is that relative to the 2019 movie, I am so much more excited for this. Because fun fact, the guy who invented Chucky and Child's Play and all that stuff is a guy named Don Mancini. Now, he has directed every single Child's Play movie up until the most recent one. And when you look at them, they are so tonally different. Every single Child's Play movie is drastically different to the point of where you wouldn't think that the same person had directed them all. But this has been his life's work, has been Child's Play. He's worked on almost nothing else over the course of his career. He hit the ball out of the park in college, and now 30 years later, he's still chugging along on the same property. So good for him.
That's dope.
Way to monetize one good idea. Holy
Heck
shit.
Yeah, man.
But he was frozen out of the movie, which is why the movie is so different than everything that we know. Because he was completely pushed out. Yeah, exactly. He was totally pushed out of that. And so they proceeded, and the studio owns Child's Play, but he owns the rights to his characters, which is why the series is going to be called Chucky. It's going to debut in October on Syfy, and it just looks disturbed. So I like it because it's from the mind of Don Mancini. The other Child's Play movie I didn't hate. Aubrey Plaza was fun, and you got Luke Skywalker to be the voice of a homicidal doll. That's good fun, but calling it Child's Play didn't ring right with me. So I thought you could have called that movie any other damn thing, and it would have been a great movie. But they called it Child's Play, so be it. It was a fun movie. But this is Chucky, and so I'm in it for this, and I'm in it for him to like not have been totally frozen out of the process. This is from the mind of the person who gave me all the shit that I love. So I'm glad that he's the one making it, because they pushed him out hard on that other movie.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Speaking of pushed out hard, what was interesting was that, there's been a lot of talk surrounding the new Marvel properties and what they're developing, and it's gained some resurgent interest with Howard the Duck. And I know you were talking to me earlier about some interesting Howard the Duck information, but one thing I'll throw to you first is that, did you know that the original voice of Howard the Duck was a guy named Chip Zien? Chip Zien was brought in at the last minute to do the lines when Robin Williams dropped out of the project. Chip Zien was not invited to the world premiere of the movie. He was not invited to do the press tour for the movie. And Marvel basically was like, here's your paycheck, take care. He saw the movie for the first time at his local Cineplex. And he's the voice of Howard the Duck. And they froze him the fuck out.
Why did they do that?
I don't know. They just had no regard for him. They already, when the movie came out and was an immediate flop and the early reviews were not good, like, they weren't going to celebrate the character because the character, nobody liked the movie. So they basically just paid him and that was that. Why fly him out for press junkets? Why bring him out for the premiere when nobody knows who he is and the movie's a flop? And yeah, we got to take Leah Thompson and stick her up there. We got to take Tim Robbins, who wasn't a star at the time, but was, coming up and coming, put him out there for the premieres. And Jeffrey Pedophile,
Jeffrey Pedophile from Beetlejuice.
That's as much respect as we'll give him. Yep.
Yeah.
And so, they brought all of them out for the premiere, but they froze Chip Zien out. And to this day, he's like, I don't even really know why. What did I do? Mm-hmm. But you had mentioned something about Leah Thompson, like being more into Howard the Duck than we might have thought.
Yeah. So it just came out in the news that Leah Thompson a couple of years ago repitched Howard the Duck to Marvel Studios. And that's really cool that she was involved with that, So then apparently they like the idea, but Marvel, they're so in-house, like when it comes to like a lot of these things and so protective of these characters. Like it just made sense that they already had plans going forward anyway. So, but Leah Thompson just came up with that like fun little tidbit. That she pitched to Marvel.
That she actually pitched a freaking Howard the Duck project, which is great. They're like, no, we have plans for a movie already 12 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like she had the rights to anything, which is
no, of course not. She just liked it.
But she worked with one of the creators, comic creators, on the pitch, so that gave it even more validation. Even though she was in the movie and did the infamous lewd scene with the duck in the bed, which
she's still
made me very
cheerleads for that
confused
movie.
as a young person.
Is she gonna have sex with that duck? My parents brought me to that movie when I was like 5 years old, thinking it was a children's movie, and that giant monster at the end, and she's gonna fuck that duck.
Duck tits all over the
duck
place.
titties in the first 5 minutes. My stepfather thought that was hysterical. I remember that much. But it was definitely not for 5 or 6 year old me. That was what, 1985, 86, something like that.
Yeah.
I saw that in theaters. I would have been like 6 years old. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a trip, man.
Oh, that's too much. But hey, they've made, they've really made some news on it. And that movie itself has its own cult following and people don't totally hate it. I still have, there's a space in my heart for something that is so that inexorably weird. It's bad, but it's beautifully weird.
I mean, dude, it's pure 80s, bro.
It is.
Pure
it's a bad
80s.
Marvel movie, and we don't have a lot of them, but it's so beautifully weird. A bad Marvel movie that is not at all beautifully weird is like Blade Trinity. That movie's just bad. That movie is so bad. It's borderline unwatchable. The crowning achievement of that movie is CGI eyeballs on freaking Wesley Snipes. Do you know about this, about the CGI eyeballs?
No, Abin.
All right, this is a great thing. So we're going to talk about this in a minute, but Wesley Snipes and the director, David Goyer, hated each other. They had serious problems. It got to the point.
Man, Goyer was exploiting this franchise so he could spin it off into a new series with 2 shiny little white characters. That was bullshit.
Well, Goyer was spinning off the franchise because Wesley Snipes was becoming unhinged. Wesley Snipes was in the process of becoming completely unhinged. And so they had a lot of beef, and basically it got to the point of where Wesley Snipes, if it's not a close-up, it's a freaking stunt double. And so at one point, David Goyer sat down with Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes was like, you need to leave this movie. You're ruining this movie. And Goyer was like, no. you're ruining this movie with your behavior. And by the way, we've already got all the close-ups, so you could go home and we'll just keep shooting your body double like you've been making us do. So Wesley Snipes was a petulant little bitch on this movie, no matter how David Goyer behaved.
Granted, but I don't like the idea of using that to like make something, because that's just something that always happens in Hollywood. A lot of the success the Blade franchise experience was because of Wesley. You know,
sure.
Who knows what he had to deal with being on that set with those people throughout all those movies. You know what I'm saying?
All of the extraneous reports from all the other actors, and I'm willing to take Ryan Reynolds and Patton Oswalt. I mean, fuck David Goyer. I'm familiar with his work. He's a good writer. I have no idea what kind of director he is. We can infer from this and the fact that he's written about 60 movies and directed about 4 that he's a much better writer than he is a director. So I can imagine part of that process was pained. And he said in an interview recently on Hollywood Reporter that involved. So I think that Snipes has a gripe, but he certainly didn't help. The pinnacle, which being, there's a scene in the movie where he's laying on a table and the other vampires are like, torturing him. And there's supposed to be a point in the movie where they stick him with a needle or something and his eyes open and then he breaks free, and that's that. He laid on the table and he refused to open his eyes for the scene. He wouldn't open his eyes for the scene. He was like, you can't make me open my eyes. I'm not doing it. What a fucking asshole. So they had to do CGI open eyeballs that look absolutely insane. He also spent most of the production in character as Blade. So he would write notes to people as Blade. Mm-hmm. And according to Ryan Reynolds, all he did was smoke weed and hang out in his trailer. Like literally, that was it. And he got to the point where he refused to be on set with anyone else. So there's a whole scene where he's bantering with Ryan Reynolds in a car, and it was shot completely separately because he refused to be on set with any of the other actors. Like, come on, how are you going to do that to a production? That's fucking rough. So I think everybody, involved in this is the asshole, except Patton Oswalt and Ryan Reynolds. They can do no wrong in my universe. But if you want some funny shit. So Patton Oswalt goes on, he says there was this whole thing where they were out drinking at a strip club, and at the strip club, Wesley Snipes choked out David Goyer and threatened to kill him. So David jokingly hired a bunch of bikers to be his bodyguards during production, which is when apparently Wesley Snipes totally shut down. And so they recently asked David Goyer if all of that was true. And the only thing he would say is, I'm not going to comment except to say that I respect Wesley Snipes as an actor, but we are no longer friends. Mm-hmm. Patton Oswalt, on the other hand, very good friend of mine. That's it. So I think he's basically saying, yeah, that shit happened. To his credit, though, Wesley Snipes' argument, he goes, hey, if you're telling me that a black actor choked a white director and didn't get arrested for it, I call bullshit. That's his argument. His saying is that it never happened because had it happened, he would have been in handcuffs. That's a fair argument to a certain degree.
I don't think so. That there's a franchise that's like that has heads and shoulders on him. A lot of money on the table.
That's true. And somebody like Wesley Snipes, knowing full well that he is Blade, going and saying, I don't leave my trailer for anything other than a close-up. I'm not shooting any of the action scenes. There's so many scenes where it's such an obvious stunt double, and he's acting the whole movie like he doesn't want to fucking be there. You can see there's a solid 10 years of Wesley Snipes' life where he is fucking done with Hollywood, but he keeps acting in movies.
I don't know. I don't really feel that was the same for Blade 1 and Blade 2. No.
I think that was pre-jaded Snipes.
Because I remember watching that movie and being really pissed off at what they were doing. Because I see stuff like this happen all the time. When they put something that was built on something black, then they try to take that, push you out. I see it happen with the Wayans brothers. Seen it happen with all sorts of people, all sorts of black performing artists and stuff.
Wait a minute, what Wayans brothers property was gentrified? What'd they push the Wayans brothers out of?
In Living Color and Scary Movie.
Okay, Scary Movie. I'll give you that, but I don't know that In Living Color really at any point got
they definitely did it. They definitely did it. They completely shut the Wayans out of it, and then at one point it was basically the Jim Carrey show, and like it was like the last like season.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're right.
So like that's something that's happened to black artists like forever, you know. So like I saw the same thing happening in that movie too, and it really annoyed me because it was so blatant what they were doing with that movie.
See, I meet that point somewhere halfway where I say they had to transition to something because Wesley Snipes just would not play ball anymore. And so Ryan Reynolds in an action movie, there are worse places to transition into. And the woman, I can't remember her name, tip of the tongue, who's in that movie as well. But I feel like they're as good as anybody to transition to, but it does whitewash a black franchise, I guess.
Yeah,
see it?
I mean, my thing is, what I wonder is like, what was happening to Wesley the whole experience? Because like I've been the only black person on set, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. Like you could be the star and still be treated like crap, and I could feel like what would turn you into someone that just has to feel the pressure of working with people that are constantly condescending to you and treating you like crap when you're supposed to be the star and stuff. So like, I mean, I don't know the whole story, but I'd love to know the whole story because it's easy to assume, oh yeah, he was just a jerk. But I wonder what happened to him that whole time for him to feel that way.
Well, I will say, I think that there are a lot of problems that have been documented, very well documented in the way that persons of color are treated in Hollywood and are treated in a lot of environments in American society. I have to be careful because in this instance, it really just seems like Wesley Snipes sucks. It just seems like Wesley Snipes sucks.
That nice pun, bro. Nice pun.
He's a vampire and he sucks. But so I'm a white dude, right? Okay. And let's just give a hypothetical. And I think that you, Arthur Romeo, you suck. You suck. God, I hate you. Oh my God, you're always late to the podcast when we're supposed to be recording and you're like, I gotta pick up my kids. Shit. You're the worst. And so I just don't like you. And I go up to Arthur, I'm like, Arthur, I'm gonna give you a hard time because you're just the fucking worst. And you look at me and you go, nah, it's because I'm black. What do I do as a white person to convince you that you just suck for your personality and not for your skin color?
Oh, man. It's not so clear and cut like that, bro.
I'm just saying it's a minefield for me as a white person. I am in a fucking minefield here. Because when I meet black people in the real world that legitimately suck, I have to be careful. No, because it's true. I've worked as an art director before, and I had an artist that I was working with one time, and it was clear that he had faked his portfolio. It was clear that he could not fucking draw, and he had a bad attitude to boot. So I sent him home. And I got this email back. You are the most racist son of a bitch I ever met.
I remember that.
And like the guy like lost his mind on me about me being so racist. And and I'm just like, but you just suck. I'm not racist. You just suck. How do I mean, I don't have any obligation to convince him of anything, but then like, how do I navigate that minefield? That's my only thing. So you're saying
you just have to, be a G about it. I mean, you work with plenty of other black people,
Yeah. And I tried telling him, I said, my best friend is black. And he's like,
don't do that.
Would say that.
Don't do that.
And I take Arthur out of my pocket and I flash my token and it's supposed to gain me admission.
No.
Damn it. I take it and I push the token into the slot and I get in the door.
You're using all the wrong words. No, please stop.
And I gain admission to the black community. I showed him my best friend. Here it is. I can't even with this shit. This is too funny. So yeah, so those were some funny recent revelations that have come out. And the more and more people talk about Blade 3, the more and more we find out that like it was a total shit show. But it's fun to talk about a shit show sometimes. You know what is not a total shit show, but is still super fun to talk about? Masters of the Universe fucking Revelations. That's not the official title, but it's pretty close. Holy cow, you've seen the first episode. Now, should we spoil it or no?
Well, no, man.
Do we spoil the end of the first episode? We don't, right?
Oh, well, we can spoil the first episode. I thought you were going to spoil all the other episodes. Like, please
no, but
don't.
there's a big thing that happens at the end of the first episode that's pretty monumental and has far-reaching implications.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering if we spoil it or not.
Yeah, we should. Well,
okay. All right. So if you're going to watch Masters of the Universe Revelations, spoilers ahead. We're going to spoil the first episode, and I'm going to try my damnedest not to spoil the rest of them for Arthur.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
No, I'm trying.
I'm right here. So first of all, this is from our boys, Mark Bernardin and Kevin Smith.
Yeah. Oh, and they knocked it out the
our
park.
soul brothers.
It looks so good.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was just so happy, after seeing what Kevin's been going through for the past 15 years, to see him as showrunner, produced by Kevin Smith on like something that's just like super high quality. Because we always know, like we're not accustomed to seeing super high quality stuff.
No,
from Kevin,
no.
So and we've always known Kevin's potential, even when he doesn't know it himself.
For sure.
And so it's so great that he's been working with Mark all these years, because I feel like Mark helps him become a better writer too, just by them shooting the shit and talking about story stuff like for the past 4 or 5 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's just great that he's had that podcast too, because it's like Hollywood is just the geeky side of Hollywood. They listen and they inject them into stuff like all of the Berlanti stuff. He's been able to direct all these episodes of Supergirl and Flash and stuff. Man, so awesome to see him just getting this probably third big push basically at this point. This episode, from what I remember of He-Man, I haven't watched He-Man of the original series as an adult. But most of the cartoons back then were just used to push cereal and toys.
Absolutely.
So,
they were toys first that came with comic books, and then they made a cartoon to sell the toys.
Yeah. So I can't remember the depth of the storytelling on there. So it was just a trip to just from the first scene. The first scene feels like it's like the beginning of almost like a Tarantino movie, because there's so much like intrigue with this person that's covered and stuff, and then the way they're setting it up, and then it goes into the kind of the soiree that they're having, and I just really liked how it was moving, like the dialogue, the subtle changes to a lot of the characters, but keeping some of the characters very similar to their origins.
Oh, yeah,
the scared cat and stuff.
Oh, Cringer is perfect, and having Michael Root as Cringer is so amazing. He does such a good job, and that was a big part of the He-Man show, was like these sight gags and the whoop 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 whoop, and the whole silliness of Cringer being afraid of everything, and Orko is goofy, and it interspersed with the action content, and I think this show gets tone exactly right. I lived and died for He-Man, starting from when I was about 4 years old, going until I was about 7 or 8. I had He-Man themed birthday parties. I have to find a photo of it, but my mom spent a month making me an Orko Halloween costume.
Oh my God.
And she made the whole red robe and the hat, and she made ears that stuck out of the top of the hat, and she made the scarf and painted my whole face black and wrapped the scarf around my face and got the whole thing with the big O on the front. I mean, nailed it, hit it out of the fucking park. She says to this day that that's the favorite Halloween costume she ever made.
Your mom is epic. That's awesome.
Oh my God. She made some good, fun, epic costumes, but this was far and away so much more. She got so into how deep can I get on making this thing? And she worked on it for a month, and for me to wear it for one night, and she loved it maybe as much as I did. So
my mom made a full Smurfs costume for me at one point.
Nice.
Completely sewed it. That's awesome. But your mom is so
isn't
epic.
That great? When they like there's something about that cements that shit in your childhood. Like as much as I love the X-Men, as much as I love, the Marvel comics, like I literally walked around my neighborhood dressed as Orko for Halloween. That was my jam. And I had the power sword. I had all the figures. I had, fuck this shit. I got like one thing for Christmas, and this was so much money for us when I was a kid. I had the Eternia playset. If I had that now, it's worth like $3,000 intact on eBay. This thing at the time was almost $200, 1987 money. My parents fucking bought me one and spent the whole night, Christmas night, setting it up so that when I got up in the morning, like the little dude was running on the track and it was all set up and it was mammoth. It was absolutely, and especially for a 7-year-old kid, it was as big as I was. And I don't think I've ever been as excited Christmas morning ever since as I was that day. So I got a lot emotionally invested in the quality of this show. Right off the bat, they had to nail Orko for me. Orko was a big one. He, to me, is the emotional heart of the show. And I'm not going to spoil what's coming up for him, but holy shit, Orko is the beating heart of this entire show. And Griffin Newman, who people might remember from The Tick, just nails the vocal performance. Does he play Arthur? Yeah, Arthur. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Arthur from The Tick is the voice of Orko, and he does it organically, no modulation.
I remember Orko being super goofy. I feel like they kind of took the goofiness down, maybe like 10%. And they genuinely give him a lot of badassery moments.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a moment later in the show where, like, you've been a fuck up your whole life, but now it's time to believe in yourself. If you were ever going to succeed, now's the time to succeed and to fulfill your potential. There's a whole, like, never achieving your potential arc that he goes through over the next 4 episodes that you're going to see, where he copes with the fact that he's a fuck up. In the original cartoon, he can't do anything right, and Orko, and mostly he's just sort of like not ignorant of his mess ups, but they don't have stakes. It's okay. You can be a mess up and still be all right. In this one, he gets to a point where it's like, no more. I'm gonna do what I need to do and be my best self. And it's so wonderful.
Man, I can't wait to watch the next 4 episodes. I only saw the first one.
Yeah, so maybe we leave it there, so that we can like really tear into it once I get back.
For sure.
Unless you got some more deep stuff you want to go on it, because I think we could talk a little bit about. Well,
that being said, I want to talk about Mark Hamill.
Good call. Good call.
It sounds like a scaled down Joker, basically. And
you think so?
There's nothing wrong with that to me. Yeah, I definitely. I've been, I do the Joker voice, so I've been listening to Mark for 30 years,
Oh, fair.
So it's not Joker in character. He definitely has his own character as Skeletor, but you hear the Joker in it.
I thought once or twice I heard it. I could see what you're saying. I thought it slipped in here and there, but largely I didn't. That wasn't the flavor I was picking up on it.
Yeah. It's nothing. It's not to decry the performance. It's just like I hear the Joker, it's Mark. That's one of Mark Hamill's like pristine villain voices. And, that being said, I thought he was great. I liked how, for it to be such a simple thing that a villain wants, I wanted to rule the world. There was a lot of moving parts to it that was really cool, and a lot of like surprisingly cunning things that Skeletor did, and then the temerity that they're giving a lot of the female characters in this show too. Like the one character, I forgot her name, but she's like super pissed that lie was being told to her.
Oh, Tila, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. You're just not used to this amount of depth.
Well, that's why, He-Man. That's why they called it He-Man Revelations, because, again, spoilers, at the end of the first episode, He-Man and Skeletor are killed. They're killed in battle with one another. And the scale of the destruction that it took to simultaneously kill He-Man and Skeletor, we're going to find out later in later episodes, has had lasting ramifications for Eternia itself. Mm-hmm. This is a problem now that the people who are left behind following this event have to deal with. And so Teela is going to get tons of agency. And that's what some people have been like, oh, it's the Teela show. It's the Teela show. She's the new He-Man and blah, blah, blah. No, you're going to get He-Man in Masters of the Universe. And I've watched, all of the episodes that are out so far, and there's He-Man. He-Man shows up in a bunch of them.
Spoiler!
I'm not telling. Look, there's so many ways to take that, dude. There's so many ways to take that. You're getting He-Man in Masters of the Universe. I'm not spoiling anything. It's If you think that you're gonna get 4 episodes with not one shot of He-Man in Masters of the Universe, you are ridiculous, sir. I've spoiled nothing. But other than that, Justin Long as Roboto, which you'll meet in later episodes, is one of the standouts for me in the show. He kills his performance. Liam Cunningham as Man-at-Arms is fantastic. And then Lena Headey as Evil Lynn. Holy cow, how they develop that character going forward. She is going to get so much development for someone who was just like the sidekick. And holy cow, we come to find out so much about her and her motivations and everything that there is that goes on behind Skeletor and He-Man. Skeletor and He-Man, of course, are the focal points of the series, but they live in a world, and Masters of the Universe routinely embraced the world. So I'm super looking forward, because you get a major, major, major cliffhanger at the end of episode 5, and I want them to spread out the next 5 episodes and be done with it. Damn it, we're talking about it. You got what you wanted. You want everybody to talk about it. We're all talking about it. Now give me more episodes right now. I got to know what happens. But Kevin Smith, the last thing I'll say about it is Kevin Smith said something, and it was funny that he specifically said this, because I had this exact thought, and to hear it vocalized by the showrunner is perfect for me, is that He-Man was not a good show. He-Man was not a good show. I was 5. That's why I enjoyed it. I was 6. I was 7. I tried to rewatch it as a teenager. It doesn't hold up. But what he said the point of this show is to make the cartoon you remember in your head. You remember Masters of the Universe so much better than it was. You remember only the good shit, but the fact that the animation was choppy and the episodes would lag and they were written so quickly, a lot of times they didn't make any damn sense. Like, all of that goes away in 30 years of memories, and all you remember is the feeling you had sitting with a big bowl of cereal and your He-Man t-shirt and your plastic sword on the couch and watching that shit. And if you had that experience as a kid, this show will give it back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
I'm having a good time so far.
I was so Motu as a kid, I can't even tell you. And that was pre-Marvel was Motu for me, and I love it. So more of this, less of everything else.
I did want to sneak something in that we forgot to talk about. Sexy beast. Sexy beast.
I haven't watched. Not yet. I haven't gotten to it yet. What do you think about? Do you want to talk about Sexy Beast? You want to wait?
Just a small comment.
All right, tell me about Sexy Beast.
What you got? I want to wait till you watch it. Oh, I'm having a good time because I just love the makeup, and it's really cool to see the reveal of how different the people look from underneath the makeup. Yeah. You know, oh my God! So that's a little fun to watch.
Are they all conventionally attractive?
Beauty's an eye of the beholder.
Cop out.
I felt like some of the people that they would show up weren't as fine as some of the other people, you know, because like that's the thing. Like some of the people like wind up actually, you know, feeling regrets for the person that they didn't pick, because as soon as you because you have 3 people to pick, and in the first round you have to let go of one of them. So as soon as you let go of one of them, they're taken out of the makeup and you get to see them. And you're like, no. And they're like, you're lost, bitch.
Oh, so you're picking between 8s, 9s, and 10s then, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like,
it's like seeing a Ferrari and a Lexus and only winning the Lexus. God damn.
I think they get really varied different types of looks. You know,
fair enough.
So, like, it's not everyone's a supermodel. Like, for damn sure, that's not the case. But it's just like some people are like, "Whoo, she's fine," and then another one's like, "Yeah, she's okay." You know.
All right.
So yeah, it's really light fare, but you know, it's an interesting dating show just with the makeup element because the makeup is so good.
It's funny, you actually made me more interested to watch it now because part of me was afraid that this whole thing was going to go on and then all of the face reveals would be done in like the final episode, which I really didn't have the patience for. If I'm getting face reveals each episode, yeah, man, that's digestible. I could watch that because even if I don't like it,
Each episode is just dedicated to the 4 people.
Oh, perfect.
The person that's the focal point and the 3 people that are trying to win the date.
I thought it was going to be big pools of people all dating each other and then like a round robin choices at the end kind of thing.
No, it's not like a Bachelor sort of thing.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, that's much better. That's way more the format I like.
Stay in the makeup that long. Yeah, it's basically 2 days of makeup for all the people basically.
Jeez, that's still rough.
You know. Yeah, I mean that's more manageable.
Mm-hmm.
When it's just the face and light makeup across the body. Yeah, but the first episode is pretty interesting. Second episode is pretty hilarious. how dumb the dude is.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's all I'll say.
Well, nice. I'll definitely, Rachel and I will be sure to sit down and catch some of that because I loved Face Off and I love special effects, makeup and stuff. I really didn't want to have to watch 8 episodes or 10 episodes of something for the reveal, and I'm glad that's not the case. So now I'm actually, now I'm even more down, so I'm with it.
Nice.
You know who didn't spend shit on makeup was M. Night Shyamalan because he just hired a whole bunch of people to play the same dude. Old. It's exactly what it says on the tin. People are getting old. M. Night Shyamalan. Prepare to watch people get old.
Like slight wrinkles.
Well, the kids get old. The kids get old real fast.
Yeah, but they just like get.
Everybody else ages gracefully.
Yeah.
Until they don't. So spoilers. We're gonna spoil the shit out of old.
Spoilers. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
I feel like there's 3 tiers to Shyamalan. He has his genius tier movies that like he maybe makes once a decade. Mm-hmm. Then he has his medium fare where he has really cool ideas. Like he doesn't always land the execution. And then he has this really crappy stuff. It's like, what are you doing? You know? So I feel like this is a mid tier. It really just like well executed idea that doesn't land that well. What do you think?
So it's somewhere above Mark Wahlberg running from the wind an entire movie.
Of course. The Happening. Are you kidding me? So the best thing about The Happening was the trailer. That trailer for The Happening was sick, but the movie is really sick.
No, the best thing about The Happening is Mark Wahlberg's like shocked face. Because he does the same shocked, bewildered, no. Mixed with his Boston accent.
I want to talk to your mother. Hello, no.
You're the one killing everybody. No, it's the trees.
I'm a science teacher. Say hello to your mother for me.
Just like became John Lennon there for a second. What was that?
Say hello to your mother for me.
It's hard. Slipping accents is accents are hard. Oh my God. And everybody, how many people in old have to have an odd accent? Why do both the parents have a weird accent and the kids have no accent and they're from and they're from fucking Pittsburgh or Philly? They're from Philly. And they both have European accents and kids have no accents and they're from Philly. That is decipherable.
I think they split the difference with that by making the kids very precocious.
Yes, they are very precocious. Oh, but they grow up so fast, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Wah, wah. I'll show myself the door. I really will.
No, that was
I'll
great,
show myself out. I mean, on the plus side, we get to see Alex Wolff again, and he's fantastic. I think he's really good. And then Thomasin McKenzie from, Jojo Rabbit. Again, she's all over the place now, and she's getting a ton of well-deserved respect.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I like seeing her in this. I think Ken Leung is great as Jaren. I always remember him from X-Men 3. He's always the weird pincushion guy from X-Men 3. I know that's like the tiniest role in his career, but that's in my head, that's who he is. And he's everybody else is okay. Aaron Pierre is mid-sized sedan, the rapper.
Oh my God! Like,
okay, so is that offensive?
Totally showed his animus with rap.
Is that offensive? I was going to ask, is that offensive? Is that him making fun of black culture, or is is he winking at the joke?
Yes.
Is he black enough to make that joke?
No.
Oh. I don't know. I'm checking. That's why I'm asking.
Hell no.
Hell no. He ain't black enough to make that joke. All right, so cool. So we're keeping score.
It was so funny though.
If you're keeping score at home, it's offensive.
It's not offensive. It's just really telling, like what he thinks about rap.
Fair enough. So he plays mid-sized sedan. And by the way, who's the first one to die in this movie?
Yes, the fucking people of color. The people of color, man.
I mean, technically his girlfriend dies first, but she dies off screen, and then her body floats up, and that becomes the motivation for the doctor to then stab him later.
That's not the same thing.
But he dies first. He is the first character to die on screen.
Why the hell he let that idiot fucking kill him like that? That was bull.
Some tropes are inescapable. I'm sorry, my black friend. But you die first.
I thought we were out of that, man.
No, sir.
Shyamalan, he has definitely not got the memo in that bubble that he resides in.
If we don't have a black corpse to push the story forward, what are we gonna do?
That's bull. Bull, man.
See, now I'm making you hate it a little more each time I talk. Yep. That's what I'm here for.
I really enjoyed the camera work. The camera work was so unwieldy.
Oh, I hated it. I'm so glad that we're on opposite sides, because usually I'm the positive one and you're the one like, that's terrible camera work. And you know more about, you've directed a film, you've done more with film than I have. Like, it felt like somebody who was getting bored about the shit that was happening, it would just start to drift to the right or drift to the left.
I think it just added to the bewilderment of the situation.
I don't know. It just feels like somebody forgot to lock the fucking swivel on the camera, and it's like, oh, there it goes. They
definitely did all that on purpose.
I know, of course, of course. But here's the thing: I'm talking a lot of trash about this movie. For me, this movie is a perfect $10 million movie, which is my understanding of about what it cost. It cost nothing to shoot. It has most of the characters in one location. There's not a lot from a special effects standpoint until we get to some of the more gruesome deaths at the end, and I think it's a great $10 million movie. But when you're somebody like M. Night Shyamalan, there's a certain expectation that comes along with it, and for better or for worse. And he has, at varying points in his career, wildly exceeded those expectations and fallen a little bit short. If this were a 60-minute student film from a director I never heard from, I'd probably really like it. But from a larger director, I think that this movie falls flat. And I think plainly that the fucking trailer ruined the movie. Because if you watch the trailer, you know what's going to happen. And so you can logically extrapolate every little hint that they give you in advance. See, part of what made M. Night Shyamalan fun was that you watch the movie and then you go back like The Sixth Sense and you go, oh, that's right in there. And that's right there. Oh, and that's right there. If at The Sixth Sense, they had told you right off the bat, like, he's dead. And you're like, you would have spent the whole movie looking for hints because you know a thing that the people in the movie don't. So you spend the whole movie looking for those hints. And that is one kind of movie. I did not want that out of this movie. I didn't want to know everything. And then when they show up, again, we're going to spoil it. Let me just say it again. But when they show up at the resort and the first thing the people at the resort do is hand them drinks and you're like, oh, those drinks definitely have something in them. And then they meet a boy and like, oh, that boy's got some weird relationship. Like there's something going on here. You know, he's somebody's kid, but like all my friends come and go. Oh shit, nobody's coming back. Like everything tells you everything. They open up the fridge and all the food that the resort provides them is foil wrapped specifically in these like shiny foil. I was like, oh, they got to keep whatever's in this fucking area from affecting the food. Like it's every single thing. They're like, I wonder if the resort is somehow in on it. And yet the way M. Night Shyamalan's like, I'm dropping you off. I got to go, though. I can't go any further than this. You guys, good luck. We're definitely not involved in what's about to happen to you. Like, from every moment in the movie, you know every beat. Like, hey, we have a beach where everybody ages at an incredibly rapid pace. I wonder who's going to survive. It's the children, of course. So none of that has any stakes for me. I'm just watching to find out how they die, basically.
Yeah.
That's my take. That's why I'm like, okay, all right. But if you give me a trailer, where it's like they're on this beach and then the mom is screaming for her son. And then suddenly a character that you showed earlier in the trailer looks older and like his face is rotting off. Give me the scene where she stabs him with the rusty knife. And I just watch this guy fall apart from rot. And you're like, oh my God, what happened to that dude? And then you show one kid who got a little bit older and it's like, this guy's dying of rot. And did that kid get older? What, you know what I mean? You could have cut it in a way where I would have noticed things, but not known why they happen. Whereas I'm going, oh, I'm gonna watch a movie where a bunch of people are on a magic beach where they get old and die. And that's exactly what I watched.
Yeah. Yeah. You think the art of trailers would have just kind of been solid by now, you know?
That's why one of my favorite podcasts, Pure Cinema, which they recently had a couple episodes where they talked to Quentin Tarantino for like 6 hours and they're amazing. But one of the guys on there, his name is Elric Kane. And specifically, he will pick out movies in advance that he's heard about and refuse to watch the trailer. And he refuses to watch the trailer on M. Night Shyamalan movies. And I'm thinking about taking that same approach from now on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I really love trailers.
I know, of course. And it's for something like The Green Knight, you know, if I don't watch that trailer, I don't watch that movie. But I watch that trailer, now I want to watch that movie. But I watch the trailer to Old, and then I watch Old, and it's like, man, I wish I hadn't seen the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie on its own, and I try to not do that. I try not to judge it for what I want it to be or conditions how I want them to be. Just judging it for what it is. Not bad. Good twist. The ultimate. Are we going to spoil the big twist at the end as to what the purpose of the beach is?
I mean, we don't really have to. That being said, I feel like it's one of Shyamalan's typical endings where he like brings like super, instead of it being a twist, it's something that's super practical.
Can I say what I would have really kind of enjoyed though? Like if I'm just throwing out my perfect world ending. When the two characters that survive are being flown off in the helicopter at the end of the movie or however they get away from the resort or whatever, I would have fucking loved for the co-pilot or the pilot to just turn around and put 2 bullets in their head. And then that's how the movie ends. Nothing you did mattered. Like, oh, you survived this whole crazy experience and there were reasons for it and machinations behind why it exists and the whole thing. Like, I would have actually fucking, the idea that they affect any real change on what is essentially a magic portion of the earth. Like, of course, somebody's going to do something with that, with that power, that they could break down that power by just, fuck it, we'll spoil something, by calling a few cops, ultimately. That they survived the whole experience and then just call the cops on the people responsible to me.
But I thought it got out to the news.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. That wasn't my read on it.
I mean, I think that definitely would have been an ending with more bite. Definitely.
Right? That's a twist. Turn around, put 2 bullets in their head, and then go land the helicopter and kick their bodies out, and then radio in to some character we've never met before. So that now they're like, hey, boss. Yeah, no, we took care of it. Okay, returning to base. And then you're like, oh my God, it's so much bigger. You know, like.
There was just no way to contain that, though, like, because they tell all the people in the resort, and all those people have access to their phones and everything and stuff. Yeah, so, like, yeah, the news got out. The news
ultimately does get out, but I would have liked a bit more of a grim ending, because I think I felt like I saw the ending coming, where the people I think are going to survive, and evil gets punished, even though evil doesn't think it's evil. So, you know, that's largely sort of what I was expecting, and I got what I was expecting. But there are way worse ways, you know, to spend an hour and a half of your time. I felt like it was, you know, thankfully not 2.5 fucking hours. I think this movie would have been a brilliant Tales from the Dark Side or Twilight Zone episode or something. And I also think that Abby Lee as the model Crystal with the calcium deficiency.
Yeah, she's great. She's from Lovecraft Country.
Oh, nice. Cool. Because the juxtaposition of her attractiveness in the beginning and then what ultimately becomes of her at the end is huge. I felt like her interactions with her daughter at the resort, the writing was really forced and really ham-fisted. She's looking at her 3-year-old or 5-year-old daughter when she was like, don't hunch, boys don't find it attractive. Like, we get it. You're superficial. Just slap me in the face with it again that you're superficial. You're telling your 5-year-old, don't slouch, boys don't find it attractive. It felt ham-fisted. But otherwise, the whole rest of the movie, totally fine. It's just that line I thought was stupid.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, it was just cool. It was just cool to see her playing, because she plays such a in-depth character on Lovecraft Country. It's cool to see her
play vapid.
The opposite end of that spectrum is a kind of a very vapid, almost like a variant of Margot Robbie.
I picked that up. Sure. I get that. Yep. Yeah. But overall, problems with mid-sized sedan aside, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God, Arthur's going to be so mad.
Oh my God. I was the only one laughing in the theater when that part came. When he said that.
They're like, you white folks don't get the joke? Because it's me, motherfucker. Why ain't you laughing? See, if you hadn't been there, they would have laughed all day. Oh, society is awful. Crap. But we're trying to make it better. And movies like this, you know, they're gonna these tropes will die out, and hopefully we'll see some better stuff. But in general, perfectly agreeable. I gave it a solid C+. Like, if you got this test back in high school, it's a 79. You don't go home and put it on your fridge, but you also don't, you know, bury it at the bottom of your book bag.
I was about to say we're about to see some other stuff, because Tiffany Haddish and Lakeith Stanfield, yeah, they're both cast in the new Haunted Mansion movie.
I have no expectations for the Haunted Mansion. I don't actually think that Lakeith Stanfield can fuck that up, because, again,
I mean, he's gonna be next to Tiffany Haddish.
That's true. So he rises to the level of the talents around him, which is always good. But I also think that there is no pressure being the lead character in that movie. I think that he can just have some fun with it, and I think he will have some fun with it.
Yeah.
But I have zero expectations for that. I expect it to basically, if it's as good as Hotel Transylvania, call it a win.
Yeah, those are some good movies too.
So I think that
that sounds about it.
Be just about it. Arthur, if people want to find out more about the shit that you like, and they want to reach out and tell you about how you're wrong on all of your opinions about things, except that Captain Marvel is black, which you are unquestionably right about, where can they find you?
You can find me www.arthurromeo.live, and also on Instagram at drawreallyawesome, all underscored. I always leave it at that.
Nice. And if you want to find me, you can find me first at Tales to Admonish on Instagram with all underscores, the way Instagram does it. Or you can find my personal page on Instagram at thomas.olton. And if you like the podcast, please leave us a review or a like. That helps with our visibility and helps other people find the podcast. Additionally, you can find us on YouTube. Subscribe there, and you will get updates when all the new episodes show up. I'm having some RSS problems, but we're getting them worked out. So if a little behind on the episodes, bear with us. And see us here in just a few weeks when, you know, my head will be 3 ounces lighter.
Yay.
And that'll be a good thing on
Tales to Admonish, bitches.
Was that Lakeith Stanfield doing the bitches? Bitches.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.